Ayo! And what is up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us here on the channel again today as we continue our ongoing coverage of the WWE's Mae Young Classic. Round number 1, episodes number 3 and 4, and we are here to talk about them right here and right now on the number 1 newest podcast in all of the YouTube wrestling community, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. So, let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show is brought to you by Clutch Chairs. Clutch Chairs is the official chair of the WWE, and we urge you to check them out by clicking the link in the description below. Clutch Chairs,
click our
level up
exclusive link in the
your
description below
comfort.
to see if your favorite superstar.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here once again today. My name is Nick Nightmare, this is Blue the Snowball Microphone, and we are back with another edition of our review for the Mae Young Classic, episode number 3 and 4. Listen, this tournament begins to take a turn in an odd direction beginning episode 3 and 4. There were not as many good matches as there was on the first 2 installments of this show. None of this was being helped, however, by the somewhat surprisingly lackluster commentary being put forth by the lovely Lita and JR. Their chemistry obviously is not there. You can't really place too much on that, you know what I mean? Because they really are just come together. They've never really worked together before in this capacity. It might take a little time for them to gel. I'm hoping as we get further along in the tournament, they will get maybe a little more excited. I feel like they're a little subdued. Maybe they don't know how excited to be, which I find that hard to believe because JR is one of the fucking best in the world. And it's just taken me back a little bit. Like, wow, you know, they've been very quiet. There's a lot of pauses and just not very JR-like, so it just took me by surprise. It's not helping the matches any. I'll just say that straight off the bat. But let's begin our coverage. Let's go back to the Mae Young screen with these brackets, which I told you guys I hated the bracketing of these women and the pairings that we got for matchups because I really wanted some of these girls who ended up losing in the first round to go further. But it was obvious to me just by looking at some of these pairings that this was not the case for my favorites in this tournament. But it doesn't matter who I like. It matters who they like. And apparently, as usual, we are not coinciding with our judgment, the WWE and I. Round number 1, episode number 3, begins with the highly touted, much anticipated WWE debut of Toni Storm as she was going one-on-one with Ayesha Raymond from the UK. This was the first match we saw where the girls would not shake hands prior to the match. Ayesha Raymond refusing to shake hands with Toni Storm before the match, playing a very good heel in this match. However, this match to me was a little, how would you describe it? Because it wasn't a bad match per se, but it was not anything special. I guess I was expecting a lot more from this girl. I mean, I enjoyed when Toni Storm decided to punch Miss Raymond in the face with her ass repeatedly. I thought that was a cool spot. Storm would end up just escaping a splash attempt and scoring the pinfall. Not overly impressed with this match at all. You know, neither one of them really made me go, wow, you know, I want to see her again. You know, but we're going to give Toni Storm another shot as she gets the win over Ayesha Raymond here, moving on to the second round. And I can only hope that maybe we'll see something more, because it's not that she was bad. It's just all this hype, and then I see it, and I don't get it. What was the hype for? She's your very average, very normal professional women's wrestler. Didn't seem that special to me. And again, not a knock. I just haven't seen enough of this girl. Maybe, again, the nerves set in. This was her first appearance here in the tournament. Maybe as we go along, just like I hope with the commentary, these girls will start picking their game up a little bit, stop being so nervous, because as we move along in this show and the rest of the show, you will see in the, episode 4, you will see, as my opinion will definitely sway on the quality of these matches. After this, we had the Great Khali's. I hate saying it. The Great Khali's protege, Kavita, Devi versus New Zealand's own Dakota Kai. This, again, carried on with the theme of the gigantic big girl versus the little underdog. And Miss Devi was very, very good for a woman her size. I can guarantee you right now, everything she did in the ring that was somewhat impressive during this match was not taught to her by the Great Khali. I guarantee you, there is no way he taught her to climb up to the top rope and then balance herself on the top rope like the Undertaker would to deliver a fucking... There's no way. There's no way he taught her how to tightrope the fucking top rope. It's not possible. Because he can't even fucking step over the top rope when he gets in. It's not possible. The only thing he taught her how to do was stand around and look like he does and then go, "Ugh!" That had to be the extent of his training. If that was the extent of his training and they got other people to do that, other stuff, and show her the real part of wrestling, then well done. Because this girl wrestled better than Khali, hands down. She did more in the first 5 minutes of this match than the Great Khali did in his whole entire career with the WWE. She gave us that much more. She was mildly impressive. You know, she did a very beautiful military press. The strength of Kavita Devi is not in question, especially after you see her throwing around the little Miss Dakota Kai. But, out of nowhere, Kai would escape the corner as Kavita Devi would come charging in. And then would do a fucking lap around the ring and then come and hit her with a hell of a kick. It was absolutely unbelievable corner kick. And then a breathtaking, simply breathtaking coup de grace. Double stomp to the chest of Kavita Devi by Dakota Kai for the pinfall victory. This match was okay. I got a little excited in my call, I guess, because I'm amped up, as I always am, to do my show. I love doing my show for you guys, but that match did not deserve as much excitement as even I got it. Because it was a little slow, and then you have this quick comeback victory with this tiny little girl defeating this monstrous woman. It's pro wrestling. I'm not going to knock it too much. I don't mind it. I just really hope that they give Dakota Kai more to do than the Shawn Michaels treatment, where she's just going to be ragdolled throughout the match by the bigger opponent, because 90% of the girls, even the smaller girls, are going to be bigger than Dakota Kai. Don't ragdoll her for fucking 5-10 minutes and then just have her hit like a super move and then be done with it. That's going to get old quick, and I want to see more of her. She is supposedly one of the most talented women in this tournament. Let's let these girls free. Let's let them show us what they could do. Dakota Kai moves on to the next round of the Mae Young Classic. The third match of episode number 3 is where I started to really begin to get concerned. Sage Beckett, the graduate of the 3D Academy run by Bubba and Devon Dudley, versus Bianca Bel-Air. Beckett was the bigger of the two here, but Bel-Air was seemingly just as powerful. This was the first match of the tournament that I thought was a little boring. I really did. It was not too good. It was slow. It was a little sloppy. And I want to make a complaint about the spot that finished this match. This is not Hollywood. This is not Kickboxer. This is pro wrestling. So when Bianca Bel-Air swung her head to hit Sage Beckett with her ponytail, and it was super effective enough to the point where it stunned the bigger, larger athlete enough for Bel-Air to hit her with a spear and get the win. After, for the most part of the match, she was pretty much just getting creamed. This girl didn't do much to Sage Beckett. from what I remember. And that spot with the ponytail, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Unless you're going to put a fucking silver ball on the end of it or something, don't tell me you're going to hit people with a French braided ponytail or whatever the fuck kind of braid it was. I'm no stylist. My wife could probably tell me, but I don't know what kind of fucking braid. It's probably just a regular 3 fucking prong braid. I don't know if you call it 3 prong. I don't know what you call it. I'm a fucking dude. I got long hair, but I don't know. Sorry. Lose the spot. It's terrible. Who wants to get beaten by getting hit in the face with some hair? Awful. Awful. I didn't like it. And in my opinion, the wrong girl won this match. I thought Sage Beckett was a little bit more impressive throughout the entirety of this match, and I didn't like anything that happened during this particular contest. Bianca Bel-Air would be the one moving on, and hopefully she won't be around too. So, you know what? I'm not going to say hopefully she won't be around, because I don't mind if she goes a little further in the tournament. Just don't beat everybody with your ponytail. Alright? It's not a fucking lethal weapon. It's hair. Holy shit. They're getting me riled up. Let's bring it back down, because the fourth match of episode number 3 was the match of the show. In fact, could definitely be called maybe the match of the tournament up until the end of the first round, because Piper Niven would go one-on-one with Santana Garrett. I was very high on Santana Garrett in the preview. I talked very highly about Piper Niven, and having them paired up together right now was a travesty for me, because I wanted both of these girls to at least make it to the second round. Santana Garrett is unbelievably talented. This match would prove that in spades. And Piper Niven has got a great look. She's got a great gimmick. And she's somebody you want to see. She's like a special attraction. You know, it's just not something you see every day. And she was taking shots from Garrett throughout the entirety of this match, and then just standing there like Andre the Giant. You know, she's not as tall as a giant, but you know, we all know she's a big girl. And she's an absolutely beautiful big girl. Much like Nia Jax. She's beautiful. Beautiful despite how big she may be. And her talent in the ring, her endurance, the way she moved, you cannot take anything away from Piper Niven. Santana Garrett gave her a fantastic match. I didn't like this pairing, though, like I said, because I did not want either one of these girls to be eliminated from the first round. But very impressive, agile for her size, knows how to use her size. Just like a good big man knows how to wrestle like a big man, Piper Niven has been trained awesomely. And she knows exactly how to move, exactly how to use her weight in the ring. It's unfucking believable. It really is unbelievable to watch. This was a great back and forth contest. She's big, she's bad, she's beautiful. And she will be moving on to the quarterfinals as she would survive. I'm going to use that term. She would survive this very close encounter with the NXT Wonder Woman, Santana Garrett, who is absolutely beautiful in her own right, just as each and every one of these girls are. I don't want to make anybody think, you know what I'm trying to say, but I have my favorites and I have my taste, and Santana Garrett is not usually what I am attracted to, but she's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman, and I think her wrestling ability is what really makes it more for me, because she was fantastic. She made Piper Niven look great. She made herself look great. This was one of my favorite matches of the show, of the entire show so far, just like Mia Yim and Sarah Logan back in episode 2. At the end of episode 3, I was happy again, because the first 3 matches on this card I was not too happy about, but then I had the potential back here, and I was very excited to see this match by the time it was over, regardless how I felt about it at its beginning. Piper Niven moving on to the next round of the Mae Young Classic. And that was the end of episode 3, and we're going to move back up to episode 4 to select the final 4 competitors to fill the final 4 spots into the Sweet 16 of the Mae Young Classic and move on to the second round. And this show started off fucking surprising the hell out of me, because I'm ashamed to admit that I did not do as much snooping around as I probably should have, because I had no fucking clue that Candice LeRae was married to Johnny Wrestling, Mr. Johnny Gargano, our NXT superstar, and you can definitely tell that she's been working with him, because she, in the ring, was fantastic. I was talking about Candice LeRae and how I was looking forward to seeing her very much, especially since on the independent scene she used to wrestle the guys, you know, and she's got a great catchphrase, Candice LeRae is tougher than you. I love that. And she's got a great finishing maneuver with a great title to it, Miss LeRae's Wild Ride. Fucking fantastic. I could not wait to see her in the ring. Another one is absolutely beautiful. Maybe the prettiest girl in the tournament for my particular taste. Across the ring from her would be Renee Michelle, another very beautiful girl. Probably the two best looking girls in all the tournament, at least for this guy. Going one-on-one. Chants from the crowd of Candice Wrestling was going on, and I really enjoyed that, especially since I had just found out she was Johnny Wrestling's wife. But Renee Michelle looked a little bit unsure of herself, and she seemed very slow on the draw with every move. Every move, from a simple step over or a simple punch or just running. Like, she just looked like she was unsure of her timing. It just didn't look good to me. Didn't do any favors for Candice LeRae, who looked like she was thrown off her game by the ineffectiveness of Miss Michelle's bad timing. That's really all it can come down to. Candice was good, but given a better opponent, could probably be great. We might see the great Candice LeRae, because this match, as good as it was underwhelming. Very underwhelming, and I don't blame it on Candice LeRae. I could see very clearly as I was watching that it was just, had to be nerves, man. I'm going to chalk everybody's bad performance up to nerves, because I don't think that the WWE would bring in somebody that they obviously know is going to flop. Well, then again, we did have or read everything, did we not? So maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about there. But Candice LeRae hits an absolutely beautiful swinging neck breaker from the second rope that she calls Miss LeRae's Wild Ride, like I said before, for the win, and she will be advancing to the second round. I hope that she gets a great opponent to work against, and we can definitely see a lot more from Candice LeRae. Renee Michelle probably just needs a little more polish on her. She just didn't have it tonight. She didn't have it tonight. And to this reporter, or at least I fancy myself a reporter, it was obvious. It was definitely obvious. The match that would come next, match number 2 of episode number 4, would be the first absolutely bad match of the Mae Young Classic. And hopefully we don't get another one that comes anywhere near how bad this match was. I was looking very forward to seeing Taynara Conti, being that she had a judo background and she comes very highly hyped and something we never seen before. First ever judoka, blue belt in jiu-jitsu, blah, 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 blah. She's got great takedowns, blah, blah, blah. And she would go one-on-one against the lady of NXT, Lacey Evans, who I have seen before and I know is much more capable than what I've seen out of her tonight. I'm going to chalk it up to there being way too much fucking hair going on between the two of these girls. They couldn't see a fucking thing. The whole match, all they were doing was this. We ain't doing the Watusi, ladies. We ain't doing the backstroke. Tie your fucking hair up and throw hands. Let's go. Give me a fucking break with this match. And also, much like Renee Michelle in the match previous to this, Taynara Conti seemed absolutely fucking lost. She didn't even listen to the referee as he was telling her to go into the corner. You see the referee say like 6 or 7 times, back into the corner, back into the corner, back into the corner. Maybe it's a language thing. Maybe she's not picking up on the English too well. Maybe she doesn't understand too well just yet. I don't know. But I was not impressed. Her throws were okay. They weren't very crisp. They were creative, they were different to see in a wrestling ring, a judo, karate type throw. We don't see very much, but they were sloppy. They were not crisp or impressive at all. A lot of stiff strikes. Looked like Lacey was taken off her game very quickly after she was hit by a barrage of kicks by this Conti girl. Maybe she was pulling the trigger too hard. I don't know. There was just something very off about this match. Thankfully, And mercifully, Lacey Evans would hit a reverse package pile driver, which is the nicest thing that happened in this whole match, and get the win. Thank the Lord, this one came to an end. It should have came to an end much quicker than that. I did not enjoy this match, not even a fucking lick. And much like I said about Candice, hopefully Lacey Evans will be paired up with somebody better in round 2, and we could see her true potential. I've seen her on NXT. I know how good she can be. She's wrestled very, very well. Very well. That was not Lacey Evans last night. I don't know what the hell that was. Give me a break. Pass on this match. Nicole Savoy versus Reina Gonzalez. I had absolutely zero interest in this match. I understand she's a second-generation superstar, Reina Gonzalez. Her father is Ricky Gonzalez. I don't know who the fuck Ricky Gonzalez is. No disrespect, but if I don't know you and you are not part of the WWE during the 80s and 90s when I was really watching as a kid, and I have no emotional connection to that particular wrestler, so I have no emotional connection to this particular girl. And Nicole Savoy, the MMA powerhouse, the queen of suplexes, not impressed. You looked like both of the other MMA girls in this tournament. She's a carbon copy of Mercedes Martinez and Shayna Baszler. It's the exact same girl. All three of them. These are the exact same girl. He's got to find a way to change it up. I don't want to just keep seeing 3 MMA girls. Let's do something a little different. And it was an aggressive fight, but it felt more like a brawl than anything else. It felt more like a street fight. It wasn't very technical. There was a lot of hand throwing. It was a very slow going match. The bigger lady was Reina Gonzalez, and the smaller lady, Nicole Savoy, would win by eventually wrapping her up in an armbar. Despite Gonzalez's best attempts to fight her way out of it, she ended up losing her grip and locked it in, and Savoy would get the win by submission. Tap out victory. Thank God it was over quick. It wasn't, again, not as bad as what we just seen. Lacey Evans versus Taynara Conti was a train wreck. And there were reports coming out that I was trying to stay away mostly of the results, but there were a lot of reports going on telling us that, the WWE was not impressed with a lot of the women coming out of the first round. And after watching the first 2 episodes, I'm like, what are they talking about? This has been pretty good so far. This has been pretty great. But now I understand. It had to have started with this third and fourth episode of the first round, because something went wrong. Something was off. Maybe it was the air. I don't fucking know. Maybe it's just me, but I did not enjoy these 2 matches of the 4th episode. And finally, Kairi Sane goes one-on-one with Tessa Blanchard. And I hated this match on a personal level, because I wanted Tessa Blanchard to at least make it to the finals. I think that she is one of the future stars for the company in the women's division. I have said on the previous Mae Young shows and on the preview show that she is ripe for the taking for the main roster. Maybe she doesn't even have to go to NXT. You pair her up with Charlotte and you start that whole family thing. It's got a built-in story and off we go. A million different avenues you can take. Doesn't matter. Once you get them both in the same car and they drive together, you're going to get fucking magic, because it's historic. Wrestling guys will go crazy for stuff like that. Do it. Especially if you're not going to have her win this tournament. I see no reason why they shouldn't bring her up. And the fact that they paired her up with the tournament favorite in the first round is a testament to Tessa Blanchard's ability. They wanted Kairi Sane to look fucking fantastic. They wanted somebody who is equal to or capable enough to go with an athlete the caliber of the Japanese pirate superstar Kairi Sane. And for Tessa Blanchard to get that honor and to put on the match that they had here, call this girl up immediately. Immediately. Just like I said about Jazzy Gabbard. Call them up immediately. Fuck NXT. We need girls at the main roster. And these 2 girls, by their performance in this show, they're ready right now. Do it. Great final match of the first round. Much like we had Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, this match was a great final match of the first round for the women. Tessa Blanchard is a fucking absolute natural. She may actually even be better than Charlotte Flair, and I just cannot wait to see what goes on when they get these two together. Unbelievable. Tessa Blanchard was on top from the very start, until Kairi Sane would come out of nowhere with a spear from downtown parts unknown, as JR would say. Probably his best line of the tournament so far. And what do I got down here? I'm sorry. Oh yes, okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't read my own fucking handwriting like a doctor. This match, in my opinion, as I was watching, I wrote down over here, should have been the last match of the tournament. It should have been the final match. It should have been Kairi Sane versus Tessa Blanchard in the finals. This match was that good. I understand pushing the Japanese star, but why sacrifice the third generation superstar? To use her to get Kairi Sane over only means that they have a great respect for the ability of Tessa Blanchard, I hope, and that we are going to see a lot more of her in the very, very near future. Like I said, Blanchard had most of this match in firm control, but in the end, with honestly one of the most beautiful elbow drops you will ever see. Especially when they show it in slow motion, it is absolutely sick looking. It's fucking amazing. Kairi Sane finishes off Tessa Blanchard, earning the final spot in the second round of the Mae Young Classic. So, round 1 is in the books. Round 2 yet to come. It will be up and available on the WWE Network next Monday. Not after Raw. Next Monday. As soon as it's Monday, you should be able to get your eyes on round 2 of the tournament, which will most likely be maybe 2 episodes again. And then we'll get round 3, which will be 1 episode with the semifinals. And then we will have the finals take place on September the 12th, live from Las Vegas, Nevada. I am very excited to see the rest of this. I'm not as excited as I was for the Cruiserweight Classic. I don't have all that much of a need to see the stuff or the, I can wait. I can wait. I'm, again, it's not a knock on the girls, but it did not deliver on the scale that I expected. So my anticipation for round 2 is not as great as my anticipation was at the beginning. And that, I guess, is the way you can wrap up my definition of round 1 of the Mae Young Classic. Started off fucking red hot, and then it got cold as hell, and then you finish it off with a bang. So I'm looking forward to the next round, but I definitely could use a few days away, if you know what I mean. Even though that will not be the case, because just a few hours from now, we got SmackDown Live coming on tonight, and we will be here to review that show, just like we will be here to review the rest of the Mae Young Classic right here on Sledgehammer TV. That's going to do it, you guys. I'm freaking exhausted. I gotta go watch SmackDown now, and then I'm gonna sit my ass back down here in a couple hours and bring you guys the coverage that you know you get from Nick Nightmare, Blue, the Snowball Microphone, and all of us here at the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. That's gonna do it, and I am out of here! And we will see you next time! Thank you for watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show! Have a good one, you guys.